stiff. How about you?
Yeah, it's been a long trip. Can we get out and stretch?
Yeah, let's pull over a little bit. A little stiff. Karen and I are on our way back with a 10-hour car trip here from North Carolina to Rochester. And like many of you out there, our backs get stiff when we're in the car for a long time. So today I want to give you our top 3 tips on how to prevent and handle back pain when you're in the car. So when you're sitting, and let me show you in the car first, just the idea of the posture that you need to be in when you're sitting. When we're sitting, for our back not to hurt, we need to be able to have enough motion at our hips. So let me show you what this looks like. The ability for you to stick out your butt and to be in the car with good hip motion is really one of the big keys. If I get in the car and my hips are forward, my back can round or flex. So when people are in the car, one of the reasons that they get pain is because of what we call flexion-sensitive back problems. When their spine gets rounded, it starts to get sore. When you're in the car for a long time, it's probably the #1 reason why you get back pain. So our first step in preventing that is to make sure that the hip can move really well. So let me show you how we do that. Just very simply, on the hood of the car, by the trunk here, we can get the hip stretched in what we call a figure 4 position. So I'm going to put my foot up by the trunklet here, and I'm going to hold on to my knee and stick out my butt a little bit, and I've got the stretch in the back of this hip. We know our bodies move in 3 planes of motion, so I'm going to help that along a little bit by adding in a little bit of squatting as I squat maybe 4 or 5 times. I've got the stretch, but I'm adding on that extra motion there. Now while I'm in the stretch, I'm going to add on a little sideways motion. This is side-to-side action of my hips. So I want to get all the different fibers of those back corner hip muscles to stretch out. Now the third direction is twisting, or the transverse plane. So while I'm in the stretch, I'm going to turn my pelvis and my shoulders a bit to that same side 4 or 5 times or so. And I can repeat that on each leg, but that way the hip is looser. With that hip being looser, I can then sit in the car more comfortably with my hips being in the right position and my spine not having to cheat and flex. Karen's going to show you the next one.
All right, number 2 on the list is still working on the hip. We got the hip moving this way so that you can sit in an appropriate position. But now you've been sitting for a long time and your hip has been bent. So we want to get it stretched in the opposite direction. A lot of times when the front of the hip is stretched out, the back also feels better. We're going to use that car bumper again and put one foot up on the bumper. Wherever your hands can be on your knees or on your hips so that you'll feel nice and stable on here. And you're going to lean forward with your pelvis, trying to keep your shoulders back a little bit. I want the stretch right through the front area of the hip. Once I get there, I can just hold it right there and it feels really good. Now I want to broaden the area of the stretch by doing just what Mike talked about, working in the other 2 planes. The first is side to side, because I'm already forward as far as I can get. I'm going to go just a little bit side to side, and the stretch should broaden in that area. And now I'm going to rotate just a little bit from this position, a small amount, and I'll feel the stretch again get a little bit bigger. That's the second stretch. We do that on both sides. The third stretch will be just working on the back and going into a back bend position. Since you've already been forward and your sitting posture, your back is in that flex position, you want to make sure that it goes the opposite direction. So bending back with your hands or your fists right in your back. Maybe you'll do this 10 to 15 times, and that should take care of some of that stiffness.
So when you're on a long car trip and you are trying to prevent your back from hurting, or if you're getting stiff and you want to get out, these are our top 3 tips from Peak Performance Physical Therapy on ways that you can help your back feel better. Just as a review, number 1 is that figure 4 hip stretch on the bumper of the car, and we move in all 3 directions. So we squat, we side tilt, and we turn. As Karen showed you, we have the front hip stretch, where we're forward. We'll add in side to side and turning, and then the final thing, those backward bends, just to reverse your posture. Top 3 tips to make your back feel better on long car trips. If you're in the Rochester, New York area and you're having back pain, feel free to give us a call. One of our physical therapists would be glad to help you. You can reach us at 585-218-0240 and check us out on our website at www.peakptrochester.com. And you have a great trip.